send my condolences to little man, nephew, man. We were just on Family Feud together, all of us.
Lil Jon was on top of the world until life flipped the script in the worst way imaginable. His son suddenly went missing, and days later the news hit like a brick. He had passed away. No clear timeline, no solid answers, just shock and heartbreak. People started whispering. Some former rivals even stepped forward offering quiet apologies, while others hinted there was more to the story than what officials have shared publicly. This isn't just a sad headline. It's a cloud of questions that won't clear up. A father living through the kind of pain nobody is ever ready for. If you know anything about Lil Jon, you already know he's been a heavyweight in the music world for decades. This is the king of crunk, the man who helped shape an entire sound in hip-hop from the ground up. He gave us massive party anthems that still shake speakers today. And not long ago, he was on one of the biggest stages in the world, performing at the Super Bowl 58 halftime show alongside Usher in 2024. That's how strong his comeback was looking. New projects, fresh momentum, big energy all over again. Everything seemed locked in for another major run. Then out of nowhere, tragedy struck. No amount of fame, success, or money can shield a parent from that kind of loss. His son was gone, and the unanswered questions only made the grief heavier. Before we break down everything that unfolded, and trust me, there are details that have people raising eyebrows, let's be clear about who we're talking about. Nathan Smith, known professionally as DJ Young Slade, was the 27-year-old eldest son of rapper and producer Lil Jon and his estranged wife, Nicole Smith. And he wasn't just living off a famous last name, not at all. Nathan was building his own lane. He put in real work, carving out his own identity in music instead of leaning on his father's spotlight. Born on April 30th, 1998 in Decatur, Georgia, right in the Atlanta metro area, he grew up surrounded by rhythm, studios, and late-night sessions. Music wasn't just around him. It was part of his childhood from day one. And that's not hype, that's fact. When Nathan was just a toddler, he even appeared on one of his father's early tracks. As a little kid, he contributed vocals to Lil Jon and the East Side Boys' 2000 club hit Bia Bia. Imagine that. Most kids are learning their ABCs, and he was already stepping into a recording booth. As he got older, that passion didn't fade, it got stronger. A major turning point came in 2008 when Nathan was about 10 years old. At an after-party for the Trans World Skateboarding Awards, he watched his father command the DJ booth and control the entire crowd's energy. That moment stuck with him heavy. Seeing that power, that connection with the audience, shifted something inside him, and it helped shape the path he would choose moving forward. Lil Jon made sure Nathan had the tools early on. He downloaded the Serato software for him, set up turntables, showed him the basics, and then stepped back so Nathan could find his own rhythm. It wasn't about control. It was about letting him grow. By the time Nathan was 12 or 13, he had already completed classes at the Scratch DJ Academy in Los Angeles, becoming one of the youngest in his group. In his early teens, he even spent a year touring as a DJ for Disney star Zendaya. That's major for a naturally shy kid. Being on the road and performing in front of big crowds forced him to build confidence fast. You could see him stepping into his own light. And one thing was always clear. He loved his father deeply. The way he spoke about growing up as Lil Jon's son said it all. There was real respect there, real connection.
I even got a tattoo of his signature. It was like something ironic for me because it's like, you know, it's just my dad, but had to get the signature. It was like, yeah.
Nathan even tattooed his dad's signature on his body as a tribute. To the world, Lil Jon was a loud, larger-than-life icon. But to Nathan, he was simply dad.
What up, Will?
And I was talking about the anger management tour. It was like 2004. I was like, what, like 5, 6, something like that.
That contrast made their bond feel genuine and grounded. Nathan once shared memories of being brought on stage at just 5 or 6 years old during a massive tour. Picture that, a small child standing next to his father in front of thousands of cheering fans.
And he brought me on stage, and I was just like, bro, I was so shy, bro. I was a little kid, whatever, but it's just crazy to have experiences like that and then go home and we just like drinking tea, playing video games.
On stage, Lil Jon was all energy and chaos. At home, though, they were just father and son sharing quiet moments and simple conversations. Two worlds, one tight bond. And yeah, they even bonded over simple things like playing video games together. That's the kind of young man people are mourning right now. Nathan went on to graduate from New York University's Tisch School of the Arts, specifically the Clive Davis Institute of Recorded Music, in May 2020, where he studied audio engineering and production. That's serious dedication. After graduation, he didn't slow down. He started stacking real credits. In 2021, he co-produced Get It Girl by Sweetie, which was featured on HBO's Insecure and even appeared in a Beats headphones commercial. He also contributed to Ice Cube's 2024 album Man Down, working on the track Talking About These Rappers. On top of that, he appeared on Season 2 of MTV's Family Legacy, which premiered on Paramount Plus in March 2025. This wasn't somebody drifting through life. He was building a name brick by brick. He was carving his own path and making his father proud at every turn. Then, on the morning of February 3rd, 2026, everything shifted. Nathan Smith was reported missing after leaving his home in Milton, Georgia, under concerning circumstances. Around 6 a.m., he left on foot without his phone, wallet, keys, or personal belongings. Officials later shared that he may have been in distress and in need of assistance at the time. A large multi-agency search effort began immediately. For 3 long days, there were no clear answers. The silence felt heavy. Then, on February 6th, 2026, at approximately 11:53 a.m., search teams located a body in a pond at Mayfield Park near his residence. Authorities later confirmed it was Nathan Smith. The news sent shockwaves through the community, leaving loved ones and supporters trying to process an unimaginable loss.
DJ Young Slade, the son of Lil Jon, has died at 27 years old. Lil Jon confirmed the news in a statement telling us he is extremely heartbroken.
And just like that, DJ Young Slade was gone at only 27 years old. Authorities shared that there was no immediate sign of foul play, but the Milton Police Department's Criminal Investigations Division confirmed the case remains open and active. That detail alone keeps people talking. There have been no public autopsy findings, no toxicology reports released so far. Just the basic timeline. A 27-year-old man left his home early one morning, and 3 days later, he was found in a nearby pond. That's the official outline, and for many it feels incomplete. Questions still hang in the air. To really understand why this moment hit so heavy, you have to understand who Lil Jon is and the long road he traveled to build his legacy. His journey wasn't simple, and it definitely wasn't quiet.
All in all, TVT was a great experience because it was a place where I could go and be myself.
Along the way, he dealt with competition, industry rivalries, and people who felt slighted when success didn't go their way. That's the music business. High stakes, big egos, sharp memories. Lil Jon, born Jonathan H. Smith on January 17, 1971 in Atlanta, Georgia, grew up in Southwest Atlanta as the oldest of 5 children. His father was an aerospace engineer with military experience, giving him a structured and stable upbringing. This wasn't a story of chaos. It was a story of foundation and focus. At Frederick Douglass High School, he joined the marching band and started DJing at just 15 years old, throwing basement parties that quickly became local favorites. After graduation, he worked his way into Atlanta's music scene and eventually landed a role as an A&R executive at Jermaine Dupri's So Def Recordings. He climbed to executive vice president of A&R and helped produce the So Def Bass All-Stars compilation series. Then in 1995, everything changed, and the rise of a movement was just beginning.
I don't like to dwell on any negativity. I like to keep everything positive, find the positivity out of a situation, and take that and move on. But
Lil Jon teamed up with Big Sam and Lil Bo to form Lil Jon and the East Side Boys, and from that second on, crunk exploded onto the scene. The sound was loud, raw, and impossible to ignore. Their records didn't just play, they shook rooms. Before long, they were dominating hip-hop with tracks that made crowds jump without thinking twice. Still signed to TVT Records, they dropped Kings of Crunk in 2002 and it went multi-platinum. Then came Crunk Juice in 2004 and that run kept climbing. As a producer, Lil Jon was on fire. He helped craft Usher's Yeah, which won a Grammy for Best Rap/Sung Performance. In 2005, he was producing major hits for Ciara, the Yin Yang Twins, P.D. Pablo, and more. For a minute, it felt like he couldn't miss. But success always brings tension. With big wins come big expectations and disputes. One of the biggest conflicts Lil Jon faced was with TVT Records, led by Steve Gottlieb. Over time, disagreements surfaced about royalties and promotional support. Lil Jon and other artists publicly expressed concerns about how business was being handled. He even spoke about it in interviews. On the surface, he kept it calm and professional, but if you listened closely, you could sense the strain behind his words. It wasn't loud drama. It was controlled frustration. What looked like a smooth ride from the outside had real pressure building underneath. And when business and art collide, things can shift fast. That's when the story starts getting deeper. And that's where the real tension sat. The same artist who helped turn TVT into one of the biggest independent labels in the country felt like he wasn't fully supported on the business side. That's a tough position to be in.
I was trying to just be kind of political correct. I ain't really want to tell what really happened, but the group broke up because of the
Still, Lil Jon has always carried himself like someone who doesn't camp out in negativity. He said it himself, he'd rather move forward than stay bitter. That mindset says a lot about his character. But even with that calm energy, the setbacks were real. The dispute with TVT pushed back his solo album Crunk Rock, which was originally expected around 2006, all the way to 2010. That's 4 years of stalled momentum in an industry that moves fast. In 2008, TVT filed for bankruptcy after facing major financial losses tied to lawsuits, leaving several artists dealing with uncertainty about their work and earnings. That chapter closed messy, but label drama wasn't the only strain. Internal tension started brewing inside the group too. Big Sam, one of the original East Side Boys, later spoke publicly about why the group split. And according to him, it came down to money. He explained that once he began asking questions about his earnings, royalties, mechanicals, record sales, the vibe shifted. Conversations got tense. Energy changed. That simple question, "Where's my cut?" turned into a breaking point. After Crunk Juice in 2004, Lil Jon officially parted ways with Big Sam and Lil Bo. What started as a powerhouse movement eventually fractured under business pressure. In music, loyalty is strong until the numbers get involved. Because of financial disputes and all the TVT drama, the group eventually split. But it wasn't only label issues causing tension, there were creative debates too. Memphis artists like DJ Paul of 3-6 Mafia openly challenged Lil Jon's role in the origins of crunk, saying Memphis pioneers laid that foundation first. Gangsta Pat also spoke out in a video, pointing to Buck music as an early influence before Atlanta brought the sound mainstream. Even within Atlanta, there were conversations. The Dem franchise boys suggested that elements of their snap style in the mid-2000s weren't properly credited. None of this was quiet. These were public back-and-forth moments that added pressure to an already heated spotlight. When you stack all that together, you see how complicated it became. Label conflicts, group breakups, creative credit debates from different cities. That's a lot for one artist to carry. In hip-hop, respect is everything. And when questions about ownership or influence pop up, things get tense fast. Lil Jon has spoken before about the unseen side of fame. The part people don't glamorize. The private jets and big stages look flashy, but the pressure behind the scenes can feel isolating. Constant scrutiny, business disputes, industry politics, it adds up. And then, on top of all of that weight, he faced the unimaginable loss of his firstborn son. That kind of grief changes everything. In moments like this, old rivalries don't matter the same way, but the questions surrounding both his career battles and this heartbreaking situation still linger in people's minds. The spotlight never really turns off, and neither do the whispers. Now here's where the story shifts in a way nobody saw coming. When Nathan Smith passed away, something powerful happened. The same hip-hop world that had argued, debated, and clashed with Lil Jon over the years suddenly hit pause. Old disputes didn't matter. Long-running tensions didn't matter. In that moment, it was bigger than music. Artists who once stood on opposite sides showed up with one message: support. The noise stopped, the pride stopped. What replaced it was respect and sympathy. The hip-hop community rallied around Lil Jon with heartfelt words. People who had disagreed with him publicly for years were now saying the same thing: "We are here for you." One of the first voices to speak out was E40, a Bay Area legend from a completely different region. In hip-hop, regional loyalty runs deep, but none of that meant anything in this moment. E40 shared condolences that were described as deeply emotional. When he spoke about Nathan, you could hear genuine pain. He referred to Nathan as his nephew. That's not casual language. That's family energy. He mentioned that they had all been together just months earlier, appearing on Family Feud, laughing and enjoying time as a unit. Life looked normal, spirits were high, nobody expected things to change so suddenly. Now imagine standing in front of cameras trying to stay composed while speaking about someone you just shared smiles with. E40 made it clear, if Lil Jon needed anything, he was there. That's not industry talk, that's real connection. And it didn't stop with music figures. Shaquille O'Neal, one of the biggest names in sports and entertainment, also reached out personally. When moments like this happen, titles and rivalries fade away. What's left is humanity. For once, the spotlight wasn't about hits or headlines. It was about unity in the face of heartbreaking loss. Shaq didn't just drop a quick post and keep it moving. He actually picked up the phone and called Lil Jon himself. That's different. That's personal. He made sure his friend heard a real voice on the other end, not just saw a caption online. And Shaq kept it honest. He said he doesn't know what it feels like to lose a child, but he understands that kind of loss is devastating. For someone of his status to admit that openly, that takes humility. No ego, no big speeches, just real compassion. Then came Lil Jon's own statement, and that's the part that truly lands heavy. You could feel the heartbreak in every word. This wasn't an artist talking about career milestones. This wasn't about music credits or achievements. This was a father talking about his son as a human being. He described Nathan as kind, loving, genuine, not a DJ, not a producer, not a name attached to a legacy, just his child. And what made it even more emotional was what he shared next. Lil Jon said that in their final times together, they made sure to express love clearly. They said what needed to be said. As painful as this moment is, he finds some comfort in knowing his son knew exactly how deeply he was loved. That kind of honesty hit straight to the heart. At least in their final moments together, they made sure to say what mattered. They told each other how much they meant to one another. Not every family gets that kind of closure, and that part hits deep. On Instagram, Lil Jon shared a video montage of memories with Nathan, from childhood clips to grown man milestones. The caption was simple but heavy. "This hurts so bad. I love you, son." The post was flooded with support almost instantly. Artists, fans, friends, everyone showed up in the comments. In another post, he spotlighted Nathan's music on Spotify. He wrote that Slade released his project when he graduated from college and was proud to create and express himself independently. Lil Jon made it clear, his son built his own lane. Even while grieving, he was lifting up Nathan's work and reminding the world that his talent stood on its own. Across social media, the reaction was overwhelming. On X, formerly Twitter, people shared heartfelt messages about how painful this loss felt for the culture. On Instagram, his page filled with prayers and condolences. On TikTok, fans created tribute videos, piecing together photos and clips of Nathan through the years. Every platform echoed the same sentiment. We're hurting with you, and that's what stands out. When something like this happens, the arguments fade. Old rivalries go quiet. People step forward as human beings first. That says a lot about the weight of this moment. But even with all that unity, there's still a layer of uncertainty that keeps the conversation going. The investigation remains open. Authorities have stated there is no indication of foul play at this time, but the Milton Police Department's Criminal Investigations Division continues to review the case. That's the official word. No foul play indicated, yet the case is still active. And until every detail is fully clarified, questions will continue to linger in the background. Officials have made one thing clear. This case is still open. That part can't be ignored. So let's stick to what has actually been confirmed. A 27-year-old man left his home around 6 in the morning without his phone or personal belongings. Authorities later shared that he may have appeared disoriented and in need of assistance. Multiple agencies searched the area for 3 straight days. On the 3rd day, he was found in a pond near his residence. That is the timeline that has been publicly released. There have been mentions that Nathan had recently been treated for a minor health issue, possibly a viral infection or rash, but no detailed medical records have been shared. As of February 10, 2026, there are still no public autopsy findings, no toxicology results, no official cause of death, and no official manner of death announced. Authorities continue to state there is no indication of foul play at this time, while also confirming the investigation remains active, and that's where the tension sits. Not confirmed wrongdoing, not proven theories, just unanswered questions. When information is limited, people naturally want clarity. That silence feels heavy, especially when a family is grieving in front of the world. A father is mourning his firstborn son. A mother is facing a loss no parent ever prepares for. Nathan also leaves behind his baby sister, Nahara, born in 2024, who will grow up hearing stories about her big brother's talent, kindness, and passion. That part alone hits hard. What we do know is this: Nathan was loved, he was creative, he was building something real in music, he had ambition, support, and momentum. His life mattered far beyond headlines. Whatever the final reports eventually reveal, the focus right now is on honoring his memory and respecting the ongoing investigation. The world lost a young man with promise. Lil Jon lost his son. That kind of pain doesn't fade overnight. Rest in peace, DJ Young Slade, Nathan Smith, 1998 to 2026. Gone too soon. If you've been following this story, drop your thoughts in the comments. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share this video so we can keep conversations like this going. I'll see you in the next one.